Good morning, everyone. Thought maybe I was just going to check and make sure. So it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's Tuesday, and I'm Marianna Everson. I'm running for Washington State House of Representatives in Legislative District 19, Position 1. The incumbent is Jim Walsh. And I wish to use this platform and this campaign to build people power and Marianna and get me elected to the state house so we can have progressive policies instituted in Washington. Truly progressive policies. Power and Marianna, and so get me elected. Hope that interests you, and you will come in to this live stream and share some comments and questions. Today, I want to talk about worker power and how we can, as workers, can build power even in this time while we're staying at home. A lot of us are staying at home because there are so many people out there that are working so hard for us right now out in the world as essential workers. And we need to do everything that we can do to support them while you're at home. So essential workers are doctors and nurses and CNAs and other healthcare workers, lab techs, phlebotomists, respiratory therapists. Oh my God, what will we do without respiratory therapists? But they're also grocery workers and truck drivers and timber workers and all kinds of workers that must be at work. We need to be working at this time. And you know who is working are us, like the working class is working. And the managerial class is at home on their laptops and with their little tea, and that's great. There's stuff they got to do, and they can do it from there, and bully for them. But it's the people on the ground that need the help and support right now of all of us. And so I encourage you to, first of all, stay at home so that they can be safer out in that world. If you get sick, call first to your doctor, find out what their advice is to do. Most likely, you can stay at home and get through this all on your own. If you get short of breath, absolutely call 911 and get checked out for sure. Short of breath is you can't walk from your living room to the kitchen without call 911 being short of breath. You feel confused, you see, like your fingertips are kind of numb or blue, your lips get blue, yes, that's an emergency. Yes. Otherwise, treat your symptoms, take Tylenol, stay in a sick room away from your family or roommates or whatever. So, support workers that are out there on the front lines in this pandemic, what we can do is stay home. We can also share information between each other and organize workers together to be in solidarity with one another. There is a movement for a general strike in this country right now. That is not a bad thing. The working class needs to be standing together and knowing that across any boundaries, okay, across party boundaries or religious boundaries or color boundaries, any kind of boundaries, we're all in this together right now. We know this virus doesn't care how much money we make, who we love, what kind of religion we practice or not. It doesn't care. We're all in danger, and it's time for people like us to come together across all those perceived divisions and know that we are in this together. We're going to take care of each other. We're going to demand what we need to take care of ourselves. And there is no reason in the richest country in the history of the world that we cannot have some protections right now. Our workers right now in Washington do not have the protective gear that they need. And that, yes, I want to focus, it needs to focus somewhat on the people working in the hospitals, they definitely need it. Okay, they need it. But our grocery workers need protection. Our truck drivers need some protection. Our everybody needs some protection that is coming in contact with other people. Like within 6 feet of someone else, you should be protecting yourself. If you have the need to be in a check stand or with people walking past you at the grocery store, you need to be protected. And workers at Amazon, Instacart, and Whole Foods, they get that, and they are gearing up and or already striking right now to make sure that their corporations that they work for, two of which are owned by Amazon and Whole Foods, by the way, people need to have the protective gear and the things in place that they need so that they can take care of themselves and not get sick and be able to come back to work because we need them. I got some comments here. Oh, somebody says there's an echo, Mr. Franklin. Okay, cool. Thank you. So I feel weird talking to myself, although I'm talking to you, but I'm going to keep going. So if we lived in a world where corporations were compassionate, then we wouldn't have to be demanding, fighting, and begging for protections in the workplace. And but we are. This is where we are. We're having to do that. And you know what? We can't go back to normal. We can't go back to the status quo, I guess is the word that the buzzword everybody uses. We can't go back to what we were at. We have to move forward, and we have to give protections for all of us in all the jobs that we do. Right now, our workers on the front lines deserve hazard pay and protective equipment, 100%. Bare minimum, that's what they need, and they deserve it, and we can afford it. So we need to do it right now. That's it. If you want to, you can go to a website in Washington called workingwa.org. Working Washington is a group, they say they're on their website says the statewide workers organization that fights to raise wages, improve labor standards, and change the conversation about wealth inequality and the value of work. So that can be, we could put that in the comment section maybe. Workingwa.org. Franklin, do you think you could do that for me? It has local things here about workers' rights. And they're not only about unions. That's the thing. I've been on some of their calls, and yes, they support people who work in unions. They think unions are great, but not all workers work in unions. And so, but all workers deserve those protections. So it's not just about unions. Although I will do everything I can to make it easier to join a union. If you choose to start a union or join a union, you should be able to do that without corporations cutting off, firing you like at Walmart or wherever they fire people for trying to organize. So we're going to make it easier. Another resource that I've been looking at the last couple of days is for the general strike stuff is genstrike.org, genstrike.org. They acknowledge they didn't start the movement. They don't own the movement, and they're not the leaders of the movement, but they're just sharing information that they find about all across the world about workers coming together. And their rally cry is do not act alone. I love that. Do not act alone. We are not alone. That's one of the things I've learned in the last 4 or 5 years. I thought I was alone in all these thoughts and ideas and reasons I thought life was, and I'm not. So we're all in this together. Do we have any questions yet? Blue collar workers need hazard pay and a living wage. Absolutely, Patty Patch Farms. I totally agree with you. Totally agree. I don't think that anybody wants to have a general strike. I don't think anybody wants to push it that far. Maybe some people do, but generally, people don't want any kind of disruption in their lives or major like conflicts or anything like that. But it's not something we want, but it's something that we should do. We need to come together and at least threaten the powers that be that we're the ones they're making the money from and to. Like they make money off of us buying their products and services, and they make money off of not paying us enough to to work for them. So we have the power. We hold the power. If we don't buy their shit and we don't work for them, then they have no power. They can't. There's nothing they can do. They can't make money if we're not there. We are the reason for the whole system. So when we come together, we can exercise that power. Okay, who else we got here? I'm gonna look on the Twitter one. Anybody got some questions? Please put them in the comment section. Oh, thank you, Franklin. Put things on comment section in the on Twitter on Periscope. My mom says, "Wow." I don't know why she would say that. Okay. Sorry about the pause. So I wanted to come back to Working Washington and their website because it's the local group that I know about in Washington, and I've been listening to them and reading their things for quite a while. It looks like they did a poll for kind of my area. Pierce County's not, but Olympic Peninsula is. And they polled voters to see if they would support an initiative that could be placed on the ballot this year, the end of this year, that would require retail, hotel, and food service companies with over 500 employees to provide predictable work schedules for hourly employees. Um, and that's something that we've been talking about in the nursing community for quite some time. And I have always had, pretty much always had jobs where I did shift work, you know, where 1 week I worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the next week I worked Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You know, just you never know which day you work or which time. Sometimes I would work evening shift, and sometimes I could work day shift. I never really have had a lot of say in what my schedule is, and there's millions of us out there like that. We can't plan our lives around our schedules because we don't know. And sometimes you don't know 1 week to the next. Like I had jobs where I didn't know till Friday what my schedule was going to be the next week. And that makes life difficult. It makes hard to plan things around your kids, around lots of people have other jobs, you know. Um, and it just doesn't work for workers. We don't live to work. We work to live. And corporations don't get that. They don't get that. So employers over 500 people, um, I think it should be less than that actually. So that would get Walmart in my area. Uh, it wouldn't get any of the other larger employers. Walmart, maybe Home Depot, if they're counting all the employees in the entire state. Um, McDonald's are franchises, so we'd have to look into that to see if McDonald's would even apply because, like, the person that owns the McDonald's in my county, um, only I don't know how many employees there are, but they're not 500, And I know that because I worked at McDonald's for a long time, I know that each McDonald's is registered as its own business, like they're all separate businesses. So I knew this, I learned this originally because, like, if I worked at the Aberdeen store, then I got a paycheck from this company. But if I worked at the Hookworm store, I got a paycheck from another company. They're two different things. So that might be a way that they keep their count of how many employees they have down. So maybe it should be less than 500 is what I'm saying, less than 500 employees. And yeah, so the rest of this is available on their website. Just click the statewide poll finds 63% of likely voters support secure scheduling with only 15% opposed. I don't know why people would oppose that unless they are the employer. So I listened to a lot of a show by Richard Wolff called what is that called? Economic Update, and he talks a lot about the relationship um, between the employer and the employee being pretty much the same as the relationship between the slave and the slave owner and the serf and the lord. How they have a hierarchical power over us, um, and they're in control of a lot of what of our lives. You know, how much we get paid, what time we work, what we produce, how we produce it. You know, all of that. So his argument is to have more collective approaches like co-ops. Question: how can we amplify this message, and how can we show how badly we need Medicare for all for Washington during this time of crisis? All right. So amplify the message. Share this video. Retweet. Email it to all of your friends. Actually, take this time. If you have time on your hands right now that you're not sure, you know, what to do with, like you cleaned out the last closet, now what? Um, have those hard conversations with people that you actually know. It's difficult to sit down with someone who you think doesn't agree with you and talk to them about stuff like this. It's really hard, but we must. Like, we don't have a choice anymore, you guys. This is like the worst shit we've been going through in 100 years. This is something that is going to define us for the rest of history. What we do right now, today, defines us, our whole generation, and what history will see in us. Did we come together? Did we go to the store for our neighbor? Did we have conversations with people that were hard and try to bring people in? What did we do? What did we do? Did we organize around a Medicare for all in whole Washington? Did we do that? I'm freaking doing it. I'm doing it as hard as I can. So go to wholewashington.org. If you got $2, throw it in there. If you don't, just share it around. Use it to talk to your neighbors about it, your friends. Do Zoom calls like this and talk to people. FaceTime, call them on the phone. If you have the privilege to have communications and electronic communication, please use it to build power. Question: I believe we need to use all tools to exact change is paramount. A general strike is one way to send a strong message of solidarity. Absolutely. So the way that the New Deal came about is because people like us came together in, you know, community halls and in parking lots and at parks, and you know, we can't do that. We can do it digitally though. And they made a pact to come together in solidarity. And we have these amazing tools available to us. Zoom is free. If you're privileged enough to have the internet, you can watch things and share things. if you hopefully have electricity still, we can do this stuff, you guys. We can come together, and if we build power and at least even talk about and have a have a plan to do a general strike, and they think that it's actually going to happen, things will change. That's how we got the the New Deal in the first place. Is that the powers that be saw us coming together in unions, socialist parties, the Communist Party. They saw us coming together and organizing, and that's what gave FDR the power to change the economic system, at least a little bit in our country, so that wealthy people paid some taxes and we had a social safety net. What's left of it is sad. Our social safety net is really sad, but we do have what we have, and we can use that. But do you think that us coming together and and building power and showing them that we are one movement toward the liberation of all people, um, that's that's powerful, dude. That is so powerful. All right, I got a Twitter notification. The kids are getting ready to go get lunch at the school, and Hawk is yelling at the girls, the teenagers. Come on, let's go get lunches. That's a using your resources type of thing, right? So the school is awesome. They have workers there that are at the school preparing lunches for our kids, and we need to utilize that service. That is wonderful. My kids are enjoying it, and we're lucky we live just down the street from the school. Mom. Hi, buddy.
Mom, it's time to watch Jumanji. Welcome to the jungle.
We'll watch Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle right after you get back from lunches, okay?
I just got back from lunches.
You did? Yeah. You already went there?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, when I'm done with this live stream, we'll watch Jumanji, okay?
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too.
That's Hawk. He's 5. He's feeling a lot better. So he's been sick for a couple of weeks. I was really worried about him. He had a fever and a cough and a sore throat and body aches and just hasn't been feeling well at all. And I was super worried about him. Then I got a sore throat and a headache and a stuffy nose and runny nose and stuff, which was probably just a cold or a little bit of a flu. Okay, you don't get a little bit of the flu. So I probably had the flu. But I'm a healthcare worker, so I use that privilege to get. First of all, I didn't want to get my patients sick. I had been like from one end of the state, the Western Washington, to the other, from Squim to Vancouver, the previous weeks before that, in large groups. I was afraid, and I had the privilege to get a COVID test, so I did. I got a nose swab last week, came back negative yesterday. So no COVID for me, no COVID for my family in the house. At least that's where I'm going with it. If I don't have it, then it's not in the house. So the kids are safe. My kids haven't left the house, except for to be in the car since February 26th, I think. Yeah, I think it was February 26th. So about a month. So that's part of what we're doing to keep our family safe. You guys have any comments? Want to tell me anything about what you're doing to keep kids safe, keep your family safe, keep yourself, keep your moms and everybody safe? Ooh, Patty Patch Farm said workers, I'm sure she said means workers, essential workers have always deserved this because their jobs have always been essential and critically needed. Patty patch farms, totally. We've always deserved this. We've been gypped out of our life, what we could wealth that we could gather for the last since the late 70s. And it's time for us to wake up and demand and fight and beg and make it happen, because nobody's coming to save us, guys. I mean, nobody is coming to save us. People like me, we love Bernie Sanders, and Bernie is cool, but he's not it. He's not the savior. He's not on a white horse with a sword and shining armor. He's a man. He's a dude. He's doing the best he can, just like the rest of us. But he can't do it by himself. Certainly cannot do it by himself. We have to do this. We have to get up off the couch, out from behind our computers, and go out and do it. Well, as soon as it's safe to do that. So I really want to reiterate that this is across any perceived divisions, across party, across religion, across gender, race, anything like that. We need to come together as people and demand that we have our rights and take care of each other. That's absolutely true. All right. Over to Twitter. They're arguing about going to get lunch. Hey, Brad. Okay. Okay, do we have any other questions coming through, Mr. Franklin? Oh, here's a question. Will it be an interactive virtual forum like Armchair Series? Will what be? Oh, when it... Oh, is there? Okay. What's that? Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So virtual town hall is every Sunday at 7 o'clock for our campaign. It will be interactive. I did not watch the Armchair series, so I can't say if it'll be like the Armchair series that Jason Call did. I suppose I can look at it. I want it to be as interactive as it can be, for sure. So whatever we can do to provide for that, that's great. Yeah, sure. So every Sunday, 7 o'clock, we'll be doing a virtual town hall on my Facebook, Twitter, through Periscope, and YouTube channels, and also on Roar Media on YouTube. Great help from friends helping me push the stuff out in this time where I can't go out and talk to people out in person. So this is what we got to do. And so I need you. I need your help. I need all of your help to share these videos, talk to people that you know in LD19 about me. Go to my website. Thank you. My website is mariannaforthepeople.com. Look at my platform and check out who I am. And please register to get the emails and be a volunteer. It's available there on the website. And if you have a few dollars, throw that in there. If you don't, I totally get it. Nobody has shit. I get it. No, I mean, I'm not gonna, really beg anybody for big donations at the moment. Squirtle is here. So, honey, mommy's doing this right now. Can you please go play? Did you have breakfast yet? Go on and play, baby. So anyway, what was I saying? That guy is very distracting. He's pretty cute. Okay, website. Please, go to the website, check it out, share it with your friends. Check me out on Twitter. I am at Nurse Manna. You can find me. You see me here on Facebook. If you're here on Facebook, uh, facebook.com/Marianna for the People is my campaign page. And I'm on Instagram, Marianna _for_the_people. On Instagram. And if you have knowledge and skills in social media or any kind of digital organizing, could definitely use your help. So just send me an email at info@mariannaforthepeople.com. And definitely happy to have volunteers and helpers, because this isn't about me. This is about all of us. And whatever you have to bring to the table, I am willing to consider, because I don't want anybody else to go through this. I know you don't either. I want us to come out of this and be better, be a better society, um, more solid and together and united than ever, and taking care of one another in ways that we can afford to do. Our country is the richest country in the history of the world, and people are hoarding all the freaking cash, and we can change that. We can change that. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard, but we can change it. And so, since we can, we should. Have you guys ever heard of Rule 303? I also listen to this other podcaster named Bo, the Fifth Column. He says that Rule 303 is, if you have the means at hand, you have the responsibility to act. If you have the means at hand, you have the responsibility to act. So what does that mean? If you know something, you have a skill, or you have knowledge of something, and it's possible for you to do something, then you have a responsibility as a member of our community to do it. So right now, your responsibility, your means, what you have is to stay home when you're shopping, stay at least 6 feet from anyone, pick up something from the store for your neighbor if they need it. Talk to people that you know about the situation that you're in, and what you think we could do to remedy it. Go to the workingwashington.org site and the genstrike.org site and see if you agree with any of that stuff. Go to my website, mariannaforthepeople.com, and check me out. There's some things that you can do. You have the means, you have the responsibility. So, Franklin is sharing some things on the thread, so that's good. I don't know what they are, but that's cool. Oh, great. Thank you. I like Bo. I think perfect. Thank you very much, Franklin. All right, I'm going to wrap up there. I think that's a good place to stop. So if you guys have any further questions, just put them in the comment sections of the threads that are still there. Once they're not live, you can still comment on them, and I'll look through that tonight. If you want to talk to me, you can email me at info@mariannaforthepeople.com. My phone number is on my website, so 360-964-0499. I respond better to text messages than voice calls, like most people these days. But if you need anything, you just call me or email me, and if I know someone who can help you, I will point them in your direction. Okay, well, thank you everybody for everything. Stay strong out there, stay home, be safe, cover your cough, wash your hands a lot, and just take as good a care of yourself as you do everyone else. Okay, bye-bye.